Hello, and welcome to another SOS workshop. Today we're going to do an expressive art activity. My name is Kim Rogers. I am a longtime Yukoner, a mom, a musician. I also have training in expressive arts facilitation. I've been a registered social worker and a counselor for over 20 years. And I own a business called Valkyrie Expressive Art Journeys. And Valkyrie is an kind of an unusual name. What it is a powerful feminine icon. It comes from Norse mythology. And one of the things that a Valkyrie is known for is guiding people in some sort of spiritual or personal journey. So almost like an angel type figure. And that's why I chose the Valkyrie for my business icon, because that's kind of what I do. I like to lead people on personal journeys. And so today we're going to do some exploration around setting solstice intentions. Solstice, winter solstice is the December 21st, usually right around there. And it's the time when the days and the nights, it's the darkest part of the winter when it starts to turn towards getting more light. And there's also a solstice in the summer as well, in June, around June 21st, and that's when the light starts to decrease. So solstice is a natural time for letting go of things and preparing for that light to come back. So letting go of the darkness, letting the darkness take things away, and then preparing for the light to bring us what we would like or what we would intend for ourselves for the coming year. And we're right around the new year, so it kind of makes sense to be thinking around those ways as well. So what are expressive arts? Expressive arts are spontaneous creative activities that also have a wellness or self-awareness component to them. And activities that can be used for expressive arts range from visual art, painting, drawing, photography, writing, journaling, drama, dance, music, creating music, listening to music, poetry, body movement, and creating things in natural spaces outdoors. So it's got quite a wide range of possible activities to it. So it makes it kind of interesting to run workshops because there's so many different modalities available to get people doing some sort of expressive art. So how does it work and how is it useful? Expressive arts are an alternative to talk therapy. So talking about things where we mostly analyze things from our left side of our brain, which is our logical side, and our planning and organizing and linear side. Expressive arts kind of calls upon us to use our right side of our brain, which is the creative, intuitive side. And that will open up in turn to nonverbal parts of the brain, which is really a different way of looking at issues in our lives or just looking at ourselves in general. I think doing expressive activities really center us right to the heart. I always say the art never lies. It's like body language. It will tell you what's really going on with you without you even realizing that it is. Doing expressive arts can help us receive guidance from the spiritual realm or from our higher selves. If we believe in a higher power, that's how we can access our higher powers, through doing something expressive or creative. It can help us increase our awareness of ourselves, our issues, what's going on with us emotionally. It can also be just relaxing and calming, something to do that's completely different from our day-to-day routine. It can help us interrupt thinking patterns that are stuck. Sometimes doing art or any kind of creative thing can kind of get us out of that thinking hamster wheel where we're going around and around and we're not really getting anywhere. We're not really getting any answers to anything. Sometimes doing expressive work can open up new possibilities for us. And it's playful and it encourages release of emotions in a gentle way, non-judgmental way. The expectations of any of these activities are very non-judgmental. There is no right and wrong way to do them. It's all about the process, really, of what you're doing, rather than focusing on creating a finished product that's going to be something. Quite often we're surprised with what we create when we do it spontaneously, and it's not what we planned, or it's different than what we planned. And so it can just, it's meant to be quite a spontaneous, intuitive process where you just kind of leave your thinking brain at the door and move into more of what your heart really wants you to know. So I think I will talk a little bit about what are we going to do today in terms of, the activity itself. So we're really going to be choosing images either from print materials that we have on hand. It could be magazines or flyers or newspapers or old photographs, whatever. Or it could be images on your phone that you have already stored, or you could go around and take a few images spontaneously around your home or outside. We're going to have time to do this, so you can choose whatever modality speaks to you today. You could even draw if you want, draw, paint, sketch, images, if that's what you prefer to do. And these images are going to represent intentions. So something I'm going to invite you to pick up to 3. It doesn't have to be 3, it could be 1, but up to 3 things that represent intentions of what you would like the light to bring you here after solstice does its thing. When the light starts returning, what would you like the light to bring you? We're going to start with a guided visualization to help us get into the present and help prepare us to create. And then we're going to take the images and create a poem from them. And I'll get into more of the instructions about how that part will take place. Yeah, so maybe I'll talk a little bit about intentions. I think everyone knows what materials they need to do the activity. If you have a journal nearby or something to write with, that's going to be helpful. Some blank paper, whatever, just really whatever's on hand. It doesn't have to be anything special. But I wanted to I wanted to talk a little bit about differentiating between intentions and goals, because sometimes we get hooked into creating goals for ourselves. And that's the whole thing about New Year's resolutions and all of that kind of thing. I would like to invite us to look at this differently than creating goals. Intentions are linked to goals, there's no doubt about it. However, they're a little bit different because they're more centered on being than doing. They're more based on a journey than a destination. They're more focused on the present versus the future. Yeah, it's kind of, I guess an example would be persistence is an intention. Getting someplace would be a goal. So I don't know, if you have an intention of eating well and moving more, that would be different from having the goal of, I want to get to a certain number on the scale. That would be a goal because it's very concrete. There's a concrete way of measuring it, all of that. Whereas the intention, I want to move more and eat better, is sort of more open-ended. It leaves less room for feeling like you didn't get to your goal. It's something that you can embody into your life, whereas it's not really a set achievement. So that's kind of, where intentions and goals are different. And I want us to focus on intentions today. So being rather than doing. What do you want to be? What do you want to embody? What are some of the things you want to bring into your life that don't necessarily have an endpoint to them, but things that we would like? So I talked a little bit about the materials that we're going to need. And the instructions are just to find your images. It could be one, it could be three. You can glue them on a sheet of paper if you want. You don't have to do that. You can make it into a collage, or you can just have them separately in front of you, or you could just have them on your phone and you can, store them there for viewing, whatever works for you. And then for the poetry part, once you have your images, I'm just going to really be inviting you to reflect on those images, have a look at them, and as quickly as possible, come up with about 10 words that describe what you see in those images, or any words that come to your mind when you look at them. I want you to not think too much about them. Just try to keep in your intuitive mode doing that. And then once you have about 10 words that describe the images, or that come to mind when you look at the images, I'd like you to then pick 5 words out of that list that speak to you the most. Just the words themselves. Which of those 10 words really pop out at you and want to be noticed today? And then I would like you, with those 5 words, to create a poem. Very simple poem, doesn't have to rhyme, doesn't have to make sense, doesn't have to follow any kind of a structure. You can just put those 5 words together in a flow that makes sense to you and that conveys whatever you think it needs to convey. And sometimes you don't understand the meaning of things till later. That's why it's good to reflect on artwork and writing and all of those things a little bit after you do them, because things can sort of come to you later rather than in the moment. So that's why it's important to just stay in the moment, see what happens. Don't put too many expectations on it. Let's just see what we can create through images and poetry today. The poetry suggestions are in the chat box for the folks who are tuning in today. There will also be a document, I believe, on share screen while you're doing your image selection, so you can consult with that if you need to. For the folks that tune in later, that watch the video after the fact, I believe the prompts will be available to you on the SOS website. So when you go to access the video later on, you will also be able to access the poetry prompts there so that you can follow along. So next we're going to do just a calming, quiet visualization based on Solstice that's going to help prepare us all to do some sort of a creation today using images and poetry. Helps get us in the room, helps us stay in the present, put all our worries at the door, and really calm our mind and get a blank slate going in our hearts so that we can make something meaningful out of the activity today. So I will put on some visualization music that will help us. And I'll guide you through this. Here we go. Find a comfortable position and make any physical adjustments you need to feel relaxed. Taking time to let go of any tightness that you notice in your back, your shoulders, your neck, and your face. Let these areas relax, as right now they don't need to do any work for you. Close your eyes if you wish, or if you prefer, softly focus your attention on something in the room that will help quiet your thoughts. I invite you to think about simply breathing. Breathing in a rhythm that feels natural for you, while noticing each breath coming in and going out. And imagine warmth spreading across you as you melt further into relaxation. Taking a moment to be fully where you are. Noticing the chair against your seat and back. Noticing the temperature of the air, any sounds that you hear, or anything that you are seeing in your mind's eye, whether your eyes are closed or open. This time is for you to take a break from having to achieve anything, to put your day-to-day responsibilities and mind chatter aside for this time together, and help you connect to the energy of this solstice time of year that is upon us. The darkness is now reaching its deepest level in preparation for a letting go of the past year. It is also a time for setting intentions as we prepare for the return of the light. Winter solstice is a natural time of rest. There is a natural calling to go inwards, as nearly all creatures do at this time of year. Winter is kind, as she invites us to retreat from our distractions and presents us with a time to withdraw into dark and quiet spaces, as this time of rest is necessary for tired bodies and burdened minds. She points us in her quiet, soft way to take in all that we've been through, all that has passed this full year, which is now coming to a close, where we can accept and embrace all our goodbyes of the past year. And just around the corner, another year will begin again, bringing new fire into our hearts. The solstice intentions that we create now are like seeds planted deep in the earth that are getting ready to rise with renewed energy to dance in the light of the sun. Keep breathing gently, bringing your attention now to the place inside you that is your spirit, the higher self that guides you, the powerful place within you, where you are your truest and best self. As you stay with the here and now, acknowledge the magical truth that your spirit is connecting you to this time we call solstice. Your higher self knows how to lead you to what you need to let go of, and also what is meant for you to go toward in the coming year. This spirit is always with you and here to help you in your creating time today. When you are ready, bring your attention just to your fingers and toes, wiggling them awake as you slowly, easily, and gently open your gaze and come back to your personal space and the place we find ourselves in right here and right now. Okay. I hope everyone went on a little bit of a calming journey there to bring yourselves to the room, bring yourselves to the present, and leave all your worries aside for this time together. So at this point, we are going to begin with our art making, or our image choosing, I guess, or art making, whatever it is that you're planning to do, and your poetry creating as well. So for those tuning in later, the video is going to end here as we move into the activity and the debriefing part. Thank you for your interest in the activity today. I hope you'll find it useful, and feel free to reach out to me, Kim Rogers, through the SOS website or my personal website. If you feel like you would like to debrief your activity with me, or you have any questions about that activity, please feel free to reach out to me. And I really hope that this is a useful activity for you to do at this time of year as we move toward the returning of the light. Thank you for tuning in today, and I'll see you next time.